Hi, welcome to the Coastal Kitchen. I'm Karen Mashers, and today our menu features all of the wonderful football fiesta things that you'd like to serve during your Friday night football games. Okay, the first thing I'm doing is making some pico de gallo because we're making loaded nachos. And with those nachos, we're having the pico, we're having a cheese sauce that's absolutely fabulous, and a meat sauce to go with it too. We're also having some pimento cheese poppers, lovely jalapenos with pimento cheese, and Joe and Nellie's key lime pie. So let's get started. Okay, I've got some tomatoes cut up, and what I'm going to do is I'm just taking the seeds and insides out of the tomato, and I'm using my trusty grapefruit spoon because it's so easy. And we're going to cut these tomatoes up in nice small chopped pieces. Okay, one more, here we go. Now just take these and julienne them, easier that way than anything else. And you can see I've already been cutting, so we're on a roll. And just pop that into your bowl. All right, now I have already cut up some onion, so let me grab that from behind me. And I'm going to put in a small amount of onion, about 3 tablespoons, maybe just a touch more. And we are going to take some lime juice. Let's grab this. Put right over the top. That gives it that sparkle. Okay, now cilantro. You can't have nachos or any type of Tex-Mex Mexican food without some cilantro. So I'm going to just grab me a handful. And roll it up. And this is a nice, just a rough chop on this. Love the smell of cilantro. It just is so fresh. Okay, in it goes, and let me rinse my hands off, and grab some salt here. We're just going to throw that salt right on top. Want that to get a little bit of liquid from the tomatoes so all these flavors can marry. Okay, here we go. See how easy that was? Little prep work and you can have this done in no time. I think this is one of my favorite parts of nachos. I love the pico de gallo. Let's let this marry for just a little while. I'm going to set this over here and we're going to go to our meat sauce. Now, the meat sauce, let's turn this on. I'm going to turn this on about medium-high. Put a little bit of EVOO in my pan. And you know me, I love to use these beautiful black skillets. I think they're fun. Okay, this is going to start to get warm. Alright, looks like this is warm enough. I'm going to throw my onion in. The wonderful sizzle. And I've got some chopped garlic, so let's throw that garlic right on top. We're going to let this cook for about 2 minutes. Just stir it around with a little wooden spoon. Okay, things are getting to brown off just a tiny bit on the edges. And I'm going to put my ground sirloin in. I've got a pound of ground sirloin. Just going to pop that right there. And I'm going to use my wooden spoon just to stir it around. I'm going to turn my heat down to low, because I want this to cook at a slow rate, really. Alright, the meat has browned off. You can see how fine the crumbs are. We're going to take some cayenne pepper, and this is about how you like it. We like it a little bit hot, so I'm putting some cayenne in, some cumin, which is a beautiful scent that makes Mexican Mexican. And some chili powder. About a tablespoon. And let's let that meat soak up those spices. Okay, we've let that cook about 2 minutes. Now it's time for my black beans. And what I have done is I've got 1 can of black beans. I have rinsed them, drained them, and they go right into the meat mixture. We're going to make sure that this is on low and let this cook for about 5 minutes. While that's cooking, we're going to have a word from our sponsor. We'll be back in just a few minutes to make our cheese sauce.
When you start with local produce, add some homegrown Carolina pride, and mix it all with a commitment to family, you get more than a locally based grocery store. You get the taste of home. Lowe's Foods. Lowe's Foods, proud sponsor of the Coastal Kitchen and ATMC TV.
Welcome back. Got my meat going. I'm going to add a little bit of salt, a little bit of pepper. I've got this on the back burner. Let's give it one final stir. We're going to keep it on as low as we can go. And then we're going to start our chili con queso. Okay, that's good. Let's turn this on. Want to use a pot that's a heavy pot, about on medium. Let me put in some canola oil. And we're going to let that get a little warm. And I'm adding in half a cup of onion. Okay. Let me grab this. We're going to let these just get transparent. And then we're going to add our chicken broth. Sounds funny to use chicken broth making a cheese sauce, but that's what we're going to do today. Okay. This is really starting to sizzle right now, and before it finishes with its 2 minutes, we're going to add in our dry ingredients, which is a little bit of salt. And over that moisture, it just didn't want to come out. Some cumin and some granulated garlic. Now we're going to add our chicken broth. 1 cup. Here it goes. Let's get this moved over. We're going to let this thicken up just a little bit. Takes a few minutes, so let's start working on our jalapeno poppers. Over here, I've got some jalapenos that I have cut in half. Just give them a cut. Let's seed and devein them, and here comes that trusty old grapefruit peeler again. And if you do a lot of these at a time, like I did, watch out, because they can actually take your breath away. Okay, let's put those right here. These are going to go in a 350 oven for about 10 minutes. Want them to char off a little bit. So we're going to put them in while we're doing our queso. Let's come back over here. Oh, we're bubbling away. Okay, while that's still cooking down, I'm going to come over here and chop my cheese. Now, it's hard to find American cheese that's white in one big block. So just buy the slices, then come in and give them a little cut, just a little julienne, because this is a white queso. You can use pepper jack if you want and avoid the chilies and some of the other ingredients, but we're doing this for real today. I've got green chilies right out of the can. If you want, you can put your own jalapeno in there. It's just like with my meat sauce. Because I put the chili powder and I didn't want it so hot that one of my guests won't be able to eat it, I didn't put my jalapeno in. So make it the way that you like it, as hot as you want. Okay, got some diced tomatoes too. Now, the only thing I've got to do is add my cornstarch. I'm going to put that right in the mixture so everything really thickens up. Alright, let's grab a spoon here. I'm going to put my tomatoes in, and just you can see how wonderfully thick this is. When you put your cornstarch in, just remember you might take a little bit of the chicken broth and get it wet first, or put all your dry ingredients in together and make sure that you get that cornstarch all around those onions, because we don't want big clumps in the cheese. Okay, tomatoes in, and the green chilies you can put however much you want in, and I like them, so I've made a fair amount. Alright, now it's time for our cheese, and we're just going to drop it in so it melts nice and evenly. It takes about 3 or 4 minutes. And this is something that you can make the cheese a little bit thicker if you'd like. If you don't want it quite so thick, you can thin it out with a little more chicken stock. Alright, while that's cooking, I'm going to see if my jalapeno poppers are ready. Let's see if they appear to need to come out. Yep, they're just about right. I'm going to put them right over here to cool, and they're going to go back in the oven for just a few minutes, so I'm going to turn this off and put my oven on broil real quick. Let me put these over here, and we're going to start with our pimento cheese that's going to fill this. Now you can make additions to the pimento cheese if you'd like. You can put a little bit of sausage in there. You can spice it up if you care to, but I'm going to be real honest with you. I like the coolness and plainness of regular pimento, so it knocks down the heat of the jalapeno. Alright, I've got some mayonnaise, some chopped onion, I've got a can of pimentos. They've already been diced, so I'm just going to add a couple tablespoons because I think we're good there. I'm going to put a tiny bit of dry mustard. And now I need to grab my cheese. Alright, let's grate some cheese. This is sharp cheddar, and I'm just using a large hole grater. I'm using about a pound of sharp cheddar cheese, and we're getting down to the end there, so I think I'm good. Okay, I put this right into the rest of my ingredients. I'm going to keep those big pieces out. Alright, let's just mix this up. And you know, pimento cheese, the longer it sits in the refrigerator, probably 24 hours, it really has the best flavor then. So make your cheese in advance, just let it sit in the refrigerator and get melded, and then you've got this part done before you even put your jalapenos in the oven. Alright, I'm going to put a touch of pepper in there. And this is ready to go. Let me move some of this stuff around. Okay. Now, I've got a teaspoon, and all I'm going to do is take one of the jalapeno halves, and I'm just going to put about a teaspoon in each one. Probably eat them just like that. But we're going to put them in the broiler for just a few minutes and make that cheese melt just a touch. Alright, while I finish this up, I'm going to get ready for our next adventure in cooking, and that's a key lime pie. I'm going to make sure my con queso dip is ready, and I'm going to pop these back into the oven. So we're going to have a word from our sponsor, and we'll be back in just a few minutes.
The Coastal Kitchen would like to say thank you to our sponsors at Holden Brothers Farm Market in Charlotte for supplying the fresh produce on this week's show. Swing by their indoor market located near mile marker 10 on Highway 17, or check them out online at holdenbrothersfarmmarket.com.
Okay, cheese is good, my meat's good, I've got my refried beans going, and now it's time to make our key lime pie. It's Nellie and Joe's, and if you've never tried this key lime juice, you should. And I am going to make my crust today, but you can get a graham cracker crust right from the grocery store, but I like mine a little bit thicker. So I've got 3 cups of breadcrumbs, 1 stick of butter, and 2 tablespoons of sugar. And all I have to do is mix this up with my fingers. Just make sure that all the ingredients in here are mixed up so you can feel the moisture in the crust. Okay, that didn't take but a minute. Let's grab this. I've got a pie tin that has a bottom that I can push the pie up after it's been baked. And I'm just going to put some crumbs in the bottom, press down. This one's fluted, so it takes just a little bit more time than normal, but just press the crumbs right up into the crevices if you have one. Doesn't take any time at all. Okay, just make sure it's packed in nice and firmly. Alright, let me rinse my hands just a sec. Okay, let's put this over here. Now it's time to make our filling. And this is just as easy as the pie crust. Alright, 1 can sweetened condensed milk. And key lime pie, you know, is really a creamy color. A little bit white, in fact. And I always, just because easy identification, I always put just a drop of green food coloring in it, just to make it have that look. Alright, I'm gonna get this mixed up before I put my eggs in, and we are having some green today. Okay, now I'm going to grab my whisk. And I'm putting in 3 egg yolks. No whites. Alright, they're in. And now a 1/2 cup of key lime juice. The key lime juice and that condensed milk just work to make a beautiful pie. A lot of recipes call for Philadelphia cream cheese, and with this one you'd be surprised because it looks exactly like you would think you had some kind of cheese in it. Now let me grab another spoon. And I'm going to pour this straight in to my pie shell. Okay. Okay, into the oven at 350 for 15 minutes. And we're going to have another word from our sponsors. I'm going to clean up the kitchen and we're going to put everything together. Our loaded nachos, our pie will be ready, and our jalapeno poppers are ready to pop.
When you start with local produce, add some homegrown Carolina pride, and mix it all with a commitment to family, you get more than a locally based grocery store. You get the taste of home. Lowe's Foods. Lowe's Foods, proud sponsor of the Coastal Kitchen and ATMC TV.
Welcome back. We're ready to put this meal together now. I have gotten everything nice and warm. We're ready to put things on our chips. I'm going to start with my refried beans. And what I did is I just put a platter of chips out and used 2 colors because I thought that it would be a whole lot more festive. While I did my refried beans, I just added a little tiny bit of water, not even 1/4 cup, to thin them out just a little bit because I want them to be just moist enough to catch on to all the chips. Okay, I'm going to put that right in the middle. A little more around the sides. Okay. All right, one down. Now it's the meat's turn. Let me grab this. Turn that off. Right over the top, and I'm putting most of it in the middle. Gosh, the smells are phenomenal. Okay, that's good for now. And I've got our cheese, and I'm gonna drizzle some cheese right down the middle. And I'm gonna go in a circular pattern. Okay. Now, my pico de gallo. Just sprinkle it all over the top. I like to eat this with chips just by itself. So I'm going to save just a little bit for me. Alright, now you might want to put some black olives on the top. And these came right out of the can already sliced for me, so I didn't have to worry with that. And one more thing. Let's get some sour cream. All right, I think we've got a wonderful meal to have for any football night or movie night, or just a night when you just want to have some nachos, even if it's just by yourself. You can find us on Facebook. Just search for The Coastal Kitchen. We've had a great day today. See you next time.
Where does he work?
AMC Wireless.
ATMC.